Hello everyone, welcome back for another mental health moment with Richele. I'm glad to be with you today, and I want to talk to you a little bit about this idea of self-compassion. You may have heard about it before, it may be a brand new concept, but I think it's really important for times such as these. So we've obviously talked before about how the days that we're walking in are absolutely brand new. They're experiences that none of us have experienced before. And so with them, understandably so, comes a multitude of emotions. And we experience everything from fear and worry to anxiety and grief to guilt and overwhelm and stress. And so with that wide array of emotions, we sometimes have a tendency to go to beating ourselves up or what I would call self-condemnation. We can quickly go to statements such as, I shouldn't be feeling all of these things, or I should be able to manage this better, or a tendency I can quickly go to is I can, look outside my door and say, oh man, they seem to have a much better grip on this than I do. And so we can quickly go to those shoulds and statements of oughts, or I'm always like this, I'm never like that. And that creates a really, really hostile environment for us mentally, right? Like I'm beating myself up, and then it just creates more blame and shame, and the spiral continues. And so instead, I wonder if we can begin to practice something called self-compassion. And this is giving us an opportunity to say, of course I would feel scared right now. Of course there would be moments where I become edgy and get short with my children. We haven't ever done this before. I'm actually doing more with less. I'm actually attempting to do more in regards to schooling and work and household responsibilities with like less capacity, or I'm actually trying to take care of my mortgage and groceries and all the bills on a lesser income. Of course I would feel some fear right now. This practicing this idea of self-compassion actually is a way of mindfulness. It's becoming aware, and it's giving acceptance to what it is that I feel and what it is that I'm going through. And I think it's like caring for myself just as if I would care for a family member. It's giving myself a break. It's giving myself permission to experience this vast array of emotions. And it's giving myself also this opportunity to say, like, it's okay, I can take some smaller chunks. So I can look, rather than the big picture, I can look at the next few hours or maybe the next few days. I think this idea, this simple statement that Jesus said of loving our neighbors as we love ourselves, is really rich and full for this time period. In order to love our neighbors, his words have this implication that we're to love ourselves, or that we learn to love ourselves, that we learn to give care to ourselves. And I think when we begin to give ourselves self-compassion, and we know how to do it for ourselves, it actually has a transcending impact on then our ability to love our neighbors, because we have a sense of how to do that here and here, then I can do it out there even better. And friends, that sounds like good news to me, that I can expand the kingdom in a greater way when I actually give myself some compassion. And so I think it can look, I've given some examples through my conversation already, but I think it can also look like this, like when something happens and maybe I had a quick edgy reaction, maybe I was certainly short with my children and yelled at them, maybe I blamed my spouse, all things that Richele has done. So when that happens, I think it's looking a little bit at like, oh, I am feeling a lot of overwhelm right now. Taking a deep breath and experiencing that feeling, like there is a lot of overwhelm here. I'm going to try to be kind to myself. And so friends, will you join me in attempting to extend self-compassion to ourselves a bit more these days, giving ourselves permission to take a break, to feel all the feelings, and then to say, Lord, teach me what it is to love myself, so that then I'm able to go out there and love my neighbors with a greater impact for your kingdom. Thank you.